So he goes and does one long bike ride, and considers himself an expert in the subject. Well, that's kind of how YouTube works, right? Anyway, so did a long bike ride, which I do want to share with you, and maybe some tips on how to make a really good epic bike ride work. Get a text during the week saying, do you want to do a 300k bike ride? 99.9999% of the times, my immediate reply is no. No, I don't. But on this particular occasion, well, let's just say my defenses were down.
What's the most cliche YouTube thing you can do in 2020? And I haven't done it yet. I've done the gravel thing, fail. Done the mountain bike thing, fail. Epic ride.
Yeah, so I didn't really fill you in with anything of what's going on here, did I? Last you saw me, we were in the Tweed, and I was going on and on and on about how good bike racing was and everything else. So yeah, today is actually, fun fact, the longest bike ride I have ever done in my life. It's the plan anyway. We're at Wiseman's currently. Dave is setting an early tempo, which is very good. What's the scheduling here? Do we know?
Well, we think we're well ahead of it.
We're well ahead of schedule. Fantastic news.
So this was to be the longest bike ride that I had ever done. I think the longest ride I'd done up to this point was about 270, which was a warning a few years ago, the death warning. If you were there, you know what I was talking about.
Where are we?
We are 10, 15 k's from Wiseman's.
Indeed. It's a 10, is it? Okay.
90 k in to a 300k ride.
Oh, you gave the secret away.
What do you mean?
Well, I have to cut that out.
What, you said where are we?
I did. But the plan was still remaining very much under wraps.
Oh, Zip.
Very much under wraps. That's all right. Well,
Bring us out for a bike ride
indeed.
Friday.
A few laps
Oh,
of
you can't say
CP.
that.
So maybe let's start with some nutrition chat. Obviously, you can't take enough food for 10 hours of riding with you. That's just not possible. But what you can do is try and take the best bang for your buck when it comes to calories that you're going to want to take.
This is the night before. This is the bit you record that forces you to do the ride the next day. See, this is how my brain works, right? I've just had too many gels last week, right? I don't want to eat gels. So, the plan is I'm going to try as much as possible to avoid that. So I'm going to go licorice, jelly beans, you name it. If it's candy, it's going in my mouth. But these are great bang for your buck. So just done the measuring, and basically 20 grams, which is essentially a serving size. That's a worry. Didn't know that. Is 15 grams of carbs. So 2 sticks, 15 grams of carbs. We can work on those maths.
But I reckon the biggest thing with any of the food and eating stuff is get ahead of the game. Especially in those first 3-4 hours, eat and drink until it makes you feel sick. Like, do the maths on what you need in those first period of time and just get ahead of the game. I had 2 1-litre water bottles, both with 100 grams of carbs in them, and I had buckets of jelly beans. My guts didn't feel great, I won't be honest, but that's not particularly relevant because 4 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours time, your guts aren't going to feel great anyway. So you might as well have got the food into your system that you needed.
So I've had a little bit of a weather change since we last chatted. We're just at the top of Mangrove Mountain, guys, 150 k's in. Halfway. Welcome to halfway. Super humid, and we are going to get rained on pretty heavily, I imagine, at some point.
But the only thing with the sugar is, especially in summer, hot, humid, Sydney, etc., electrolytes. Electrolytes are a challenge. So I actually ran that in my back pocket, the highlight thing, but it's an electrolyte dropping thing, okay? Now, Lots of brands do this. I know Performance do one as well, which is really useful, like a zero calorie type thing, which is quite good.
Oh yes, so this is a serious bike ride today, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're about 306, 307 Ks, with a couple of ferry crossings thrown in for good mix.
With that kind of nutrition, obviously storage is something that you need to beef up, right? Because this is not just normally a situation where you can just run a couple of pockets and get away with everything. So the way I look at it, you kind of got two options, right? You've got your on the bike solution or your on your human solution. Now, under no circumstances do I think backpacks are legal. So I think it boils down to bar bags or additional pockets on the human. So you would have seen in the video that some of the guys are running bar bags. But I will say this about the bar bag, and it's the reason that I chose not to run it. While you're riding, it's not particularly easy to get into it, okay? So it's great if for winter or something you need to run that extra jacket or those extra arm warmers or those extra leg warmers. But for pure nutrition's sake, I don't think it's that valuable because, well, it's really hard to get into, which is where the cargo bib short comes in. Now, pretty much every brand these days is doing some sort of cargo bib short. I'm running the Rafa Core bib shorts, I do believe, which have the 2 leg pockets and 3 upper bum panel pockets. And the great thing about that is that, well, they're not in your jersey pockets, which cleared them up for food. More food, 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 food.
For those of you that know this part of the world, so we've ridden up kind of, well, to the Hawkesbury River, really, the long way, along River Road, and we're crossing the river here at Wiseman's. We'll cross that, go up Mangrove Mountain, up towards Kulnara, head over towards Gosford, Wyong, that area, and come back over the ferry, Palm Beach, and back into Sydney that way.
Personnel-wise, similar abilities, very, very key, but I don't reckon it should be the guys you always ride with. Now, here's my thinking, okay? You're gonna spend a lot of time with these people. You almost wanna kind of cover, in your chat, you wanna cover all those months, possibly years, that have gone past since you last rode with them. It's gonna give you heaps of fodder to chat with to kill the hours. If you just go with the guys you always ride with, you're kind of a bit like, well, what did you do yesterday? The other key element to the personnel, I should actually put this first, right? But the other key element to the personnel, the route captain. In any of these, there is one person who probably designed the route, but also takes ownership over it, calls the left and the rights. Now, I'm not saying that everyone else shouldn't have a good, solid idea of what the route is, but this person, they've got buy-in to the route. They want the route to deliver for the group as a whole.
Is there route changes happening here? No. I hope not. No. I think everyone, just relax, Alex. Just relax.
This is not a situation where many chiefs make a good village. That's not an analogy or a metaphor that anyone's ever used.
To say Alex Malone has kept a good banter and vibe thus far. There's been dull moments, but
There's been dull moments.
He has lifted spirits in certain circumstances. I can't say the same for Darcy. I can't. He's just sitting there, tapping away a rhythm. There's no.
He's done, and then he just pushes deeper again.
There's no chat off him. This is the worst bit of road to ever pull a camera out on. Spirits are good. I'm not looking forward to restarting the other side of the ferry. Well, you guys know how I hate that.
All right, what makes a really good epic ride route? One that everyone is going to enjoy. Well, my theory here would be that you want evenly spaced stops, maybe every 70 Ks, that kind of spacing, allowing everyone to carry really enough things. It obviously all depends on how big your epic ride's going to be, but for us it was about that 70, 80 Ks.
So we're at Kilnara General Store, 170 in. Heard of it. Is that the group has reached that stage where everyone's kind of just gone quiet. I think you know what I mean.
What about when you stop, right? What should you have? What food should you ingest? Because we all do it, right? You walk into the slop stop, you're deep in, and you just panic. You just see the menu and you panic. And I'll be honest, I panicked on one particular occasion. One particular one, I panicked. We'll just leave that aside. But 9 times out of 10, well no, 7 times out of 10, I got it right. And really all it is sugar. It's sugar. Just forget about everything else. It's all your body wants. Yes, you might be a bit hungry, just maybe satiate that with something nutty or a small sandwich, but it's irrelevant in the end game. Lemonades, ginger beers. I go for funky flavours, like what's the other one? Like the sarsaparillas. Bizarre flavours that I don't normally drink in there. I don't really normally drink soft drinks, but you know what I mean? Like just not a solo or something. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on that.
Just while I got some clean air, I just wanted to thank you guys for a lot of the comments after the race video and for all the comments in regard to Ben. We've passed all that on to him and he's doing well. He's doing well, guys, so that's really awesome news. What else is going on? I got some Rafa shoes on.
So while I've got you guys, I'm well aware I am so behind the times when it comes to any reviewy type stuff, and I will get onto that. But you probably saw that I did run the Rafa Classic shoes in this video, and I'm sort of going to try and use them really over the summer. I just changed so many pairs of shoes, I've got a problem. Anyway, I have to say, you know, if you're going to go for a style of shoe for this type of thing, laces are the most comfortable shoes that I ride. And the drawbacks of laces, you know them, you know, around obviously not being able to adjust them on the fly. Well, in a situation like this, it's not a big issue, obviously, because you're stopping every sort of 70 Ks or whenever, and you can make those adjustments. So, you know, I can't speak highly enough of laces shoes, and specifically the classics when it comes to a ride like this. All right, a few more tips and tricks. High average speeds if you are stopping, if you are getting a ferry at some point in time, anything like that, stop your Garmins. Don't leave them on. If you're walking up the Sydney Harbour Bridge stairs, stop your Garmin. Your Garmin will see you at 4 kilometres an hour for that period of time, and it will pay for it. You need a vlogger, or you don't need like the full spec vlogger, but you need someone capturing this thing. Have a chat pre-match. Designate some content creators in there, because you're gonna want this stuff, guys. You're gonna want it, all right? What else did I write down? What other rubbish did I write down? This is what I was doing when I was out there. No one's oh, yeah, of course. Now I remember. At any point in these rides, there's no chat. No one wants to chat. It's just, you're just getting it done, okay? You're single file. This is another thing, actually. You're single file. Stop riding 2 abreast. Just ride single file, ride 5 minutes on the front each. Just keep rolling over, not rolling turns, but just 5 minutes on the front, do your job, go back. And then when you're back there, think about, you know, what kind of vlog you're going to make out of this. That's what you should be doing, all right? Would love to hear your thoughts on this. I really would. What makes a good epic ride from a logistic perspective? I'd love to hear your thoughts on what the personnel aspect is. Don't worry about the stuff thing. I want to know, like, what's the right group of people? The angry guy, the competitive guy.
I'm sorry, I'm just interrupting. I'm interrupting the vlog. Javon just won the Zwift Academy final. He's going to ride for Alpes and Phoenix in 2021. He's going to be racing in Europe. I'm just, oh yes, yes. Okay, sorry, back to the vlog, back to epic rides or some Chris rubbish, but yes.
All right, guys, thanks again for watching. Yeah, Festive 500 is coming up. Should I daily vlog it? God, why did I even say that out loud? Should I daily vlog it? Subscribe, like, hit the thumbs up button, because that damn YouTube algorithm loves that stuff, doesn't it? Alrighty, talk to you soon, guys. Zoop.